she put in at yes, or 2 point Yankopon, one giant. So was Suman poor, 7 Bolivar, one giant. You were most established ones. Like you can say Jesus the Christ, Muhammad the Prophet, Lord Buddha, Lord Krishna, established ones like Prophet Abraham, Jacob, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Habakkuk, established ones now I will Omochino Nyankopon has never stopped sending people. Now the woman said, after the compilation of major sacred scriptures, you compare Biblia to this scripture. And when you can say, scripture being one day, a war. Now, so many show the prayer woman say, Sir Moses Eddie Israel for an inconjure moving. So a political leader the war. It's a Muslim for Casa Pam and Kuma Badia from the Poma, but this answer way for Bible. Not you names at the same steps. At the same thing. Yeah, but some church say, you never go and you go on the paper with this way, yeah. Every church will say Quran, and as a Bible, and a Gita, and a Vedas, and a Upanishad, and a Lotus Sutra. Where do I expect you? Any Munti who come as some Buddhist, Buddhist say, is it in the Lotus Sutra? Who come as some Christian Hindu, is it in the Bhagavad Gita? Who come some Christian, is in the Bible? Wakache Muslim Buddha say, is it in the Quran? You just have the day. Because God has not ceased sending his men to show us the way. And then just a mere conversation between the wife of a spiritual master, a guru. Obi anya ni asoma so be adwuma obi asemwa. Na yere na devotee ba ko ne di nkomo. Nkomo na ebe adusuni. Ndia shasi.
Topic: an interview between a devotee and the Holy Mother. Chapter 31 of the autobiography of a yogi.
Good. Book na you show me fan autobiography of a yogi. Nipa we brain say that. Inside wa kwa we brain say that. And so autobiography of a yogi, a book as a Sunday millions bra e will yasima. The brain something. It is an award-winning book written by Paramahansa Yogananda, the founder of Self-Realization Fellowship, SRF. He is so clever and wise. So we are Indian guru or about West, or US. And the one in the Hindu self and a Krishna self. So what he did was this. He mixed Hinduism with Christianity. So the piano of Jesus assembly, or Holy Spirit assembly, or baptism initiation assembly, and to mix Christianity and Hinduism. Now, about two demon Ayass Baba was a self-realization. I found a remembrance soon. Now, we are students. I would be Yogananda, or also better Center for Spiritual Awareness. Sorry, and yes, Roy Davis, and now I am American Bonifita, a deeper Mansa Yogananda, what is self-realization fellowship. I'm a man of council Center for Spiritual Awareness, CSA, and a branch. Reverend Sasu Ghana, member, GNT. The Mekamuti say. But then Roy Davis, I dear pastor, after that, Master Man of Permanent, there has never been a problem between SRF and CSA. Between Self-Realization Fellowship and Center for Spiritual Awareness, there has never been a problem. Because at the same doctrines, in the Biaba Ghana, and I bag and also Reverend Sasu as a said, and therefore, this is some common and the person who deal. Now, come away, Muntini. Paramahansa Yogananda, the master, the guru, your friend Sri Yuk Siva. Sri Yuk Siva, the master, Lahiri Mahasaya. And yes, sir. Yes. Pachamuti. Hello? Indeed, Mahasaya, I hope I'm right. Neyere, and a friend Holy Mother, or any devotee in common. Like I said, Paramahansa Yogananda, the master, assembly. Yeah. Yogananda died in the 1960s. Yes, Asama Yeke, and yet 200 years ago, current. The Sam Muntini, Nafabobra. I hope, sir, history never can much yet. If you understand the background of the issue, you understand the story. Yes,
Reverend Mother, I was baptized in infancy by your prophet husband. He was the guru of my parents and of my own guru, Sri Yusivaji.
Jimmy and Kapabat, it means great.
Will you therefore give me the privilege of hearing a few incidents in your sacred life?
Say, Reverend Mother, hello? Please. The wife of every guru is a holy mother, so that is the title. Say, Reverend Mother, the person about sending you come. Who could now we are missing parents? Guru, yes, sir. Now, the person in Banner would give you come away from Guru. They were chasing with the Guru. Any look on the guru. First, you have to let the person know what you know. If you don't let me know what you know, I cannot give you anything. What I'm saying,
I was addressing Srimati Kashimoni, the life companion of Lahiri Mahasaya.
Was it or addressing Srimati Katimoni? The dimpa the Srimati, the dimpa the Kashimoni. Hello? The Sri is like Shri. Mati means mother, holy mother, like Shri Mataji. Mata, Shri Mata, Shri Mati, Mata at the crop. That's what it is. The dimpa is say Kashimoni. Now she was the life companion of Lahiri Mahasaya. No, Lahiri Mahasaya, not Oye Guru and Master.
Finding myself in Banaras for a short period, I was fulfilling a long-felt desire to visit the Venerable Lady. She received me graciously at the old Lahiri homestead in the
there's one Mohula section of Benares.
Although aged, she was blooming like a lotus, silently emanating a spiritual fragrance. She was of medium build, with a slender neck and fair skin. Large, lustrous eyes softened her motherly face.
What a devotee no yakọ maame no man mo description de maame no. Because what we no ho wo share the papa. Now despite her old age, don't look young. Center one more kama. They be the name kama. Despite because no way. Papa na tinya describe how do you describe your leader? You watch your fan how do you describe? Yes, one yet. Yes, what you say. That is a description. We have a nature, nature. Never come to say, we have a nature will pay you back. When you're careful. This is how the devotee described the Holy Mother. The scripture in the infant check. From one panel bed and to us.
Son, you are welcome here. Come upstairs.
Yes.
Kashimoni led the way to a very small room where, for a long time, she had lived with her husband. I felt honored to witness the shrine in which the peerless master had condescended to play the human drama of matrimony. The gentle lady motioned me to a pillow seat by her side. It was years before I came to realize the divine stature of my husband. She began.
Hello? Mamma no so abranti ene sa de ko dan di am ko tna che sa da ne na da on ne kunu da e fa so buti na on ko ka so tna se now hello she starts the story the dika mamma ne kan no mun chi ne she starts the story but just like
it was years before I came to realize the divine stature of my husband. She began.
Was it a chepa so I knew nipa mi kunu ye or no wa ne kunu a chepa so no nipa mi kunu ye e make out here why one best spiritual teacher na can you make a fan. I mean, you see how people are putting themselves in the trouble. Ever no why one be no be can answer say why do you go away. Even the person who is close is struggling. Where master Samu, if you come here, people closer to Jesus were struggling. People closer to Muhammad the Prophet were struggling. People closer to the Buddha were struggling. Prince was who be up and they were struggling. And you are one to you. So I can't first sentence with
It was years before I came to realize the divine stature of my husband. She began.
Good, now this is the story.
One night, in this very room, I had a vivid dream. Glorious angels floated in unimaginable grace above me. So realistic was the sight that I awoke at once. The room was strangely enveloped in dazzling light.
And I dream back on me sorry. On your diason, the vivid dream. It was a sort of hangy name. It was so vivid to say, not an order. Now, who was answered there was sorry. When I need to hear, damn good, I can hear singing. Hello? This is the Holy Mother's dream. You can catch them. Diana Muslim with Diabo. What was ordered and dying in 2 before? One has ordered to 2 over. You dare tell the 2 over. Now, you say our problem is spiritual life. There were one and Babu 2 of you. You will be a cat. And I say 2 of you. Meanwhile, someone down also the uncle, the one who put a double and the elbow jail. It is meant for you alone. And not to me and 2 of you. And if I'm in a Sabakan, they go 2 of you. Then you are in trouble. Then it's here and then more than she say, maybe dream transfer.
My husband, in lotus posture, was levitated in the center of the room, surrounded by angels who were worshipping him with the supplicating dignity of palm-folded hands. Astonished beyond measures, I was convinced that I was still dreaming.
One cast in the Nitty and I can hear them home. Can you hold them on? Then she saw her husband in lotus posture. So we found I see not or hanging home. He was hanging in his room. And on Sabbath were singing praises to the Guru. Now, as I'm guessing, Wakano. Or hang the horn, I saw above one air to they were singing praises to the Guru. Anna, my minister, ask them with that source where the end I cannot be real the boy. What did the husband say?
Woman. Lahiri
Mahasaya said,
You are not dreaming.
You are not dreaming. When you
forsake your sleep forever and ever. As he slowly descended to the floor, I prostrated myself at his feet.
Nature said, Look, no, this time we'll be to the boy. I ever said, Oh, Sunday, when you acted. The woman a rare. Oh, no, almost a nuclear day. That's why 1 night and a better nap. We can say, What the full moon will prostrate. Hello? Hi. This is true story. Please, when you're necessary, when you're 1344, please, this story is real. Indeed, it's 50 years. And the Mupa, baby, I'm one of more fast room for playing and go beside. What a movie I can ask me. People don't want change. Yeah, Cassara, some but you have evidence. Wow, and the matter what? What they have a story power on, and what, and close and what?
I cried.
Let them one friend. Go. What's it? Master.
I cried. Again and again, I bowed before you. Will you pardon me for having considered you as my husband? I died with shame to realize that I have remained asleep in ignorance by the sight of one who is divinely awakened. From this night, you are no longer my husband, but my good. Will you accept my insignificant self as your disciple?
Hello? Hi. This is the Holy Mother sentence. You may kind of one. What's it? Master, I cried again and again. I bow before you. Will you pardon me for having considered you as my husband? I die with shame to realize that I have remained asleep in ignorance by the sight of one who is divinely awakened. Many of you, somebody for so many years say, Sally Power, I'm working soon. I will let it. Many of you, but what you say. From this night, you are no longer my husband. Will you accept my insignificant self as your disciple? Then your bands were insignificant. And then your Benjamin to the Arabia as I your disciple. Hello? And here you come on Fanaka. What way of mine? Where should your mind? Simple, that's the meaning. On the the jump is the tea you echo the young one. And I'm Pimble. But will be you will be. Who are you? Also, who is he? And what's some of them Pacifica? Because there's something beyond what we know.
The master touched me gently. Sacred soul, arise. You are accepted. He motioned towards the angels. Please bow in turn to each of these holy saints. When I had finished my humble genuflections, the angelic voices sounded together like a chorus from an ancient scripture.
Okasa original to us in the Nicholas my Joe, sacred soul, my devotee. Enna, Okatre, the year say, Ombun was Emma, the above for Umba, bow down before the angels, yes, sir, one by one by one by one. When I finish with my humble genuflection, this is genuflect. You do this, you do this, you genuflect. Yes, sir, before the angels on the real. What happens? Enna and Nick Cassia. Oh, them what is it above me? I told you that the Mokai say, consort
of the divine one.
Consort of the divine one.
Thou art blessed.
Thou art blessed. We salute thee.
They bowed at my feet, and lo, their refulgent form vanished. The room darkened.
Look, Casa Obano and Porto above for no Maku. Or real the Omoka and say, divine soul, or crack, I want to me, Yammy to me, I want to from that divine soul. Nay, consort means wife, partner, consort the divine soul. You are blessed, we salute you. Hello? What is? What's your day? We are there, dear. We want your Bible mother. One day, catch her. Thank you. Now, when the Holy Mother comes, this kind of greetings about so. It's what we say, I send the seed Bible. The wife of Messiah, I both work at the same day. Now, they don't want to catch her. Now, they don't want to catch her. Deborah, we're both with what? Where's the angels? Was a consort of the divine one. Yes, sir. Thou art blessed. Was a Mary, you are blessed. Yes, sir, Mary, yes, sir, you are blessed. We salute thee, yet you hail Mary, yet you. Me, as Lord Ayass Baba, I'm in spirituality. I don't see any difference between this and that of Mary in Israel. Because it is the same thing. And I am a person repeating. Maybe a good man, maybe a good to me. It's the same thing. There's no difference. Consort of the divine one. You see, when you say consort of the divine one, there's only one divine one that is born with what? Or friend of the divine one, because look, no Ekitanga, so no more than the body. The Bible says, no more from the catch and medicine, the one you move your way, Yame, doing your marriage. Hand marriage. So if they are calling that, my girlfriend say, consort of the divine one, and the same as Mary. What the name must say, I mean, and the straight, and the fact, never near you, your only one. Hey, what did you marry? Then I am to pack a cracker. But wow, we are doing about gender. I can't say we salute you there. Wow, who say and never fun. Obiaka say you are blessed. Won't you be that? Proposition, they just all marry you. Is it not beautiful? The kind way, never the What's it say? Cons was it? Thou art blessed, we salute thee. They bow down at her feet. And no more to no. And so no more. But when you realize yourself, angels bow before you. Hello? Because angels become messengers of God to you. The angels bow before you. No, wow. I said, angels, no time I know much. She thought it was some great thing. Look, and then just add the man of the boy. Now, what realizing who said this is who the husband is. That man, and it says, my Jimotu, above one cotton. Is it not to tell us, yes, we're going to make a woman acting the same feet? We can. We say, so we find ourselves. You like how much I say?
My guru asked me to receive initiation into Kriya Yoga.
So Kriya Yoga is simple. It's another type of yoga. Yoga is nothing bad. Yoga means trying to know God. We have Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Kriya Yoga, Hatha Yoga, so many yogas. Kriya Yoga is to harness the energy. It's the energy you want to make extra techniques are between as you say energy level, so then you see something within you develop a Kriya Yoga. And a Pramasa Yogananda, and about self-realization fellowship. Enti, Saburu, Afena, one day you're telling you now, or better, they technique for a Kriya Yoga. One now we watch and I say so many years. I don't imagine someone I did good here, even if she is. The room was stretched out straight. The man, the mass spirituality. Hey, young. Now, let's go on. My guru asked me to receive initiation into Kriya Yoga.
Of course, I responded.
Yes.
I am sorry not to have had its blessings earlier in my life.
As soon as I can wait. As soon as I can wait, I say, the man, we are sorry that man descends. That you can do a house. Since my crack and the ancient, the bread is so. With the soup, you can mark my words. You cry because when you be because maybe some out in the field. Yes, I could tell away what you one young pond what ye, will be come with you for some tea if you want to, or honestly, as so high man. You can mark my words. Do fact, but them, Pansonia be a question, don't expect anything good now, potentially, if you are. So I was so expecting Lydia, please, my mom, give to me. Yes, I'm not going to be season. What kind of story where as a soup? I have a man. I think I get fine. Teacher, I so correct. But yeah, what you say? For the baby, I feel it. But that is life. And your faith. Interesting.
The time was not right.
Well, that man can say, me, that person I want him in the team, then you be a little bit Israel. Now, marrying a day. The time was not right. Now, Mrs. Donny, for the time on Rapo, and it was.
Lahiri Mahasaya smiled, consoled me.
Yes.
Much of your karma I have silently helped you to work out. Now you are willing
and ready. I was burning your karma. You showed him my money. I was burning your karma. Because in Java, the karma will better. I've worked out so much of your karma. They say you are ready to receive initiation. How can you get initiation with a lot of karmic burden? That's after womb. What creative karma the baby? This life was our creative. What's your mouth initiate? Your mouth method, the more develop spiritual. I want to develop. Because the people are showing 3 more percent. Say, or Mamma Chia, to go and do what 100. The one critic come away now. A Mamma can't once a man when you're younger. A Jabia told me 55. But yes, the Mamma won't become boom. Mamma, no more problem to see when you're younger. If you want a monster, well, come when now, Boma, it is karma. Now the master says, mean to me, mouth method me. One I have a lot of karma. They make out just say. Yes, a thing, and I was burning your karma. What's after the match and near you? Except what was starting young Brassa would tell me, yes. First, the breathing and master, yes, I give with chair, but I won't you. Because karma, negative karma, no one will correct. The main out here say, see if you are under karmic bond, you don't see the reality. So I said, the yes, I also say, much of your karma I have silently helped you to work out. Now you are willing and ready. The beautiful part is silently. Hello? It's not a spiritual teachings with you. Now what have you? Yeah. Because when you don't know what is going on, when you be able to go back, you can't show, but you don't know what is going on. And then the panel at the not judge the way chippy, they said they had subject. Now you start thinking about what God should do for those people. It is silent, they don't know. Then the same person will meet you, me, and then they may say, aha, but silently I have worked on your karma. Silently. This is a guru. Jesus said, today you meet me in paradise with what? He has worked on his karma. Instantly. He
touched my forehead.
Good.
Masses of brilliant light appeared.
Yeah.
The radiance gradually formed itself into the opal blue spiritual eye, ringed in gold and scented with a white pentagonal star.
Good. One will do it is English. Now the master stood up and touched the forehead of his wife. Master no evidence can hear no forehead ha the Christ center, the Ajna chakra. The Ohuin was something a second of a or infant. Masses of boiling light appeared on second every channel. The radiance gradually formed itself into the opal blue spiritual eye. Nigga now Boma bet to say opal, yeah, it is a blue, to say spiritual eye one hat, ringed in gold and scented with a white pentagonal star. Never yet to say 5 stars, one in pentagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now a blue, hello, and I go the chum with you. Sana can even win peer with the nation. This is what she saw. Hello, you are value the description. And of what I mean, Chiramibi, some young and young one low. Now, she saw light. But Roman put himself Saint Teresa of the Child Jesus. One the not what is sound. Not to say about music. Realization now the Onya. Now God is everywhere in peace. Yes, Pastor.
Penetrate your consciousness through the star into the kingdom of the infinite. My guru's voice had a new note, soft like distant music.
And therefore, Papa no who said who said no say penetrate your consciousness into what?
Through the star.
To the star, through the star, into the kingdom of the infinite. So who saw who pentagonal star? Who say hello? Well, who said 5 sides? That's a star. Do when I say my consciousness and a wood star, into the kingdom of the infinite. Now look who cast our children. Now look whose voice and to set some distant music. Then one into the moon. Let the moon have a
Vision after vision broke as oceanic surf on the shore of my soul. The panoramic sphere finally melted in a sea of bliss. I lost myself in ever-surging blessedness. When I returned hours later to awareness of this world, the master gave me the technique of Kriya Yoga.
All these descriptions, meditate here, or describe to read about back to your senses. Then the master gave you the technique of Kriya Yoga. And therefore, the greatest wealth is here. The greatest knowledge is here. The greatest wisdom is here. The greatest wealth is here. The greatest wife is here. The greatest husband is here. One must show. One must say, Yakupon, Yabu, be a or the other town. Oh, one must say, good is a hat. Where they win. Who are dreaming of the who say good, sir. like I said, board and I translate your back. I had no woman, I got room. And so what did they tell us here? So everything is here, discover here, then you know everything. And a pen meditation with various techniques based on the panel level. Now, here to what the scripture is. From that night on.
That night on, Nahiri Mahasaya never slept in my room again. Nor thereafter did he ever sleep. He remained in the front room downstairs in the company of his disciples both by day and by night.
One bell and change, Papa, so one day be a Buddha. Downstairs, the Diana devotees, said your open. The open would the men yashay. You can't so much was one why yet never be a way, so he was ready. While when the man I prepare near me, they make out here say. To advance one the dada, now on that, they be not downstairs or any paper, devotees, but sad, you are due, dear. Hey, you put whenever nowadays. Nipper will never run nowadays. I don't think so. You are not fit for that. The illustrious lady.
The illustrious lady fell into silence, realizing the uniqueness of her relationship with the sublime Guru. I finally ventured to ask for further reminiscence.
Munim say obi na ne maamene kasa mokai ayi te bi na maamene ka dine pansa fere duru no ro say maamene wa di ono yes we be some further questions now when I just maybe some further questions na maamene go la ne say akwa no sa person bi sense mun te di maamene kan
son you agree
neba we agree you
nevertheless you shall have one more story.
Good.
She smiled shyly. I will confess a sin which I committed against my good husband.
What say? Professor Otias make a biatio. Now make up one about 1 year. I don't know any money. One dinner demo. One trio. And I'm watching some label. Relationship be very careful. Obo bonnet also yet here. Ah? To understand your partner is the best form of relationship. Yeah, who is good or who is bad. They make out here say.
Some months after my initiation, I began to feel forlorn
and neglected. So anybody. Let me only look at you could the boom. Edgar boom. After you boom. Into what who sa vision now. After espiritus, one year, so we could wear guru who say, the Catalan Jimu say, Master, all that sort of after some months, I started feeling being neglected, despite what you saw. That's what you said. Then this is what happened. One morning,
Nahiri Mahasaya entered this little room to fetch an article. I quickly followed him, overcome by violent delusions. I addressed him
scattering. What is about violent delusion? What is delusion? You understand delusion? Huh? You understand delusion? Violent. Why man I taking over? Agent never be then of the sun and send there. And after those visions, and this will be some. What did you do?
You spend all your time with the disciples.
They be young disciples on quality.
What about your responsibility for your wife and children? I regret that you do not interest yourself in providing more money for the family.
Hello. After the visions. Hello. After the hanging husband. Hello. Moving. Say. It's a big yard. Yes, someone shall then remind them we are well, so you can get carried away. I used to have regret. When you see, Bibi say na many age. I'm not quoting Abraham and Sarah. I want to know. With them chain, so far plain a pop. Who die on go and would come. Book you from Waffle, I go so town the baby, do watch a hello. What say? I regret that you do not interest yourself in providing more money for the family. Then what is it no more? Make us provide so and so more money. I can say no money, more money for the family. Now master the car by the way, was it not a genuine concern? Was it not? It was a genuine concern, but understand that what you say. That people for us to be sad. Very genuine concern, but understand the circumstances. Then ask in a different way. You don't ask as if it's the first one. Then the master will surprise you. The master will surprise you with money.
The master glanced at me for a moment. Then lo, he was gone.
Out and frightened.
Out and frightened. I heard a voice resounding from every part of the room.
As I was saying, oh,
it is all nothing.
It is all nothing.
Don't you see?
Don't you see?
How can a nothing like me produce riches for you?
Don't you see? Say it is all nothing. It's not say nothing. Saying how are there nothing. What is so about me means that everything is nothing. You want something from nothing. How can something come from nothing? How can nothing like me give you something? Say I'm not more a giver or provider. Can't you see? And the person, if you want something, why don't you come to me? I'm here nothing. So that I show you somewhere you can get something. This is what you're saying. Maybe you're nothing, they say. God is nothingness. Then Brahma means somewhere where you can get something. You don't attack me nothing. No, he said nothing. Something cannot come out from nothing. That's not making what you say. Huh? It's all nothing. Don't you see? How could a nothing like me produce riches for you? Guruji! What did G account? When we say G in science, it's great. We're good at producing G. You see, it be a good Chadi Pakoto. Say, Guruji! Let it has been. Guruji was where?
I cried.
I cried.
I implored pardon a million times.
Hello! First, I say I regret. Regret me about it. I was sick or slept on the patch a million times.
My sinful eye cannot see you no more. Please appear in your sacred form.
What's it say?
My sinful eye can see you no more. Please appear in your sacred form.
So, yes, sir. There man no a lie. Do who so Mr. When you Mr. Appear to me in your spiritual form. If you are able to appear to me in your spiritual form, because all the attempt, yes, I mean, me what you say. Now, it means that then you let's keep it in our minds more because it can disappear. What did I say? The young woman, the actor, the young trainer, momentum keep putting here because it can disappear. What's it say?
I am here.
What's it say? What's I'm here?
This reply came from above me.
Well, I am here to be you. Manu in what?
I looked up and saw the master materialize in the air. His head
touching the ceiling. Please, this is not an ancestor. Mr. As somewhere see and tell you, it is no more than 50 years. Muka Muka the life is of Lahiri Mahasaya, Sijiptuba, Paramansa Uganda, that land Monshe, and 19th century year assassin this year. When Papa was on the board, then junior day after Sicilian, Obama, diabetes after so many.
His eyes were like blinding flames. Beside myself with fear, I lay sobbing at his feet after he had quietly descended to the floor.
Na papa ne eba from boko na ma me da from na we de. Oh so me bisa question nti dey see first. Nti ma me na ntere fo. This is human nature. This story about Holy Mother, how inconsistent we are with our spiritual lives. But say, no matter how you become inconsistent, one can say, sorry, well, Holy Mother, you know, now I will ban in was in 3 months. They make a wanted to teach us. What do you want? What is she at? Yet, yes, they never tax over the best. Some better from the way we're hanging though, or some man hanging brave. And a better from after 1 year, so back on. Or that's a back on.
Woman, he said,
Oka Guru Johnson's woman. Okay, was it Guruji? What was the woman? Was over.
He said, seek divine wealth.
Mr. Per Susumu Sika Susuma Punya Fisher.
Not the platry
Chancellor of the earth. Again, the warrior said, but you're out of somewhere very important. And I just meant this go. And then just out, please.
After acquiring inward treasure.
Good. If you're able to acquire inward treasure, we move with me.
You will find that outward supply you will find that outward supply is always forthcoming.
What is so if you find that within you, automatically the outward one will come. Until I make a say, God bless you for we are doing. Would you know? And I will say, good, Mr. And what? Into what you know, one try and one out too good. Into I say, if what's the share with treasure will move the outward, the open bed, and bed back automatically. What is it? He added,
one of my spiritual sons will make provision for you.
What is it? So, Bisca, the mother back, my
guru's words naturally came.
A
disciple did leave a considerable sum for our family.
What is it? Devotee be by a knock on us, Holy Mother, Sikani, Bantini, Bordier, Borbreni, or Giam and toilet room. So I said, what I mean is, dear family, people providing more than they wanted. They said, then I catch your banner, a person catch your banner, say, all from Akuma, Emma, the Nukunu yellow. Now, just about discover when the time comes to wait near me, it will come. So, be silent when I meant try. Said maybe the Messiah from God will provide when you get the other way. You have not reached that level yet. The mechanism what you say. Don't be like my many friends in the end. Don't be like Holy Mother Kashimoni. You are not there yet. Don't be like Lahiri Mahasaya. You are not there yet. But no, just wouldn't level be. They will provide as you need it. They may be open on one side, but they will provide as you need it. And they never be where the friend say. As you need it. As a woman, as you need it. It is a test between what you know and what you want. The meaning in other way, that is the test. And then this is a nice story. So they are claiming, say Jesus is never different from Krishna. Krishna is never different from Jesus in terms of spiritual practices. Nti obey no my dey wo wa enye secret. You see Jesus, you see Krishna, you see Mahasaya, you see Yuksiva, and you see Paramansa Yogananda. Wo ma dey bu nipa be nsia. The air then say, Oma wo akwanya so butumi asua to develop yourself. Stop seeing certain things as impossible. They must stop bragging at the same time. Means what you say. Men yes say the do ha possible. Na so men nye dwe. Enye say wo pa hu no wa dwe. Wo pa hu na manyame adwuma na ya. Ato aso say nyame empese bibi twam atwam keke. Na wo pese bibi twam na san ba bie. Na enamo so na na sa bisi ko bi. Sa what dey be jealous. Why do we always want to quote those who are God? As if we cannot say something to be quoted. Never can one just say. So what you say, we will develop. Now, we say Isaiah was down for. We say Jeremiah was down for. We say Job was down for. And now the present David you what you say. So we have granted David the Bible saying to the Lord, no, David was one of the most handsome prophets. Also, be to me. Also, what me to say no Mary, what me to say Rebecca, what me to say Sarah, Ebia Hagar, Ebia Mammy Crampo, and so one year Crampo. I don't mind Joshua, and did Joshua say, yeah, or did Jericho soon, Mamma Felix. Rahab, Bumpo, Yamina Musobukai. Why not you? I am wise of Rahab, see how God used it. It's in plan I made some. Now, Comodiana, of course, so my many papa intended. You see, you could be. Who are you? Waware, who are you? Beman, who are you? Obano, who are you? Obano, who is he? So to me, who is she? Obano, who is she? Obano, who is he? What is Obana? Who is he? Ukuna, who is he? Where also who is he? Who is she? When I would be coffee? Not just over Nipa one and answer. Be careful. What say? Never feel no, besides, I regret it. After the work, one days away provided the music. After the day, I say, I ask for forgiveness a million times. One mistake, you ask for forgiveness a million times. Because this is a sin against, and they are welcome, and they can't book you. What's that? And I also bring one. And I always say, when the fat church, a person, and I say, a person. You don't need it. Where and yet, it is very beautiful. The book is in, book here, the autobiography of a yogi. Chapter 31, on the Kochifri. Book, no complaining and now come to a massa. It's a good thing. That book, you will not understand that book. Where they have four kakra at the Meliaba, where they have conversation. You will not understand autobiography of a yogi. I'm saying in this contemporary era, what it is one of the best books that a guru, what you have to. That is Paramahansa Yogananda. You find a book of Yambo never the chair way and back here. Oh, the game will then. Amen. Amen.